Devaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vasudev, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in the classes in Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Thank you so much, dear Vishnus, for joining. We are reading Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9. Prahlad Maharaj pacifies Lord Nrsingadev with his prayers. So we read till text number 29 yesterday, and we were discussing how the Supreme Lord is Bhaktavatsala. That means he is very, very dear to his devotee, and the other meaning is his devotee is very, very dear to him. The devotee is the life and soul of the Lord, and the Lord is the life and soul for the devotee. And he will go to any extent to not break the promise of his devotee. So we saw that yesterday. Let's continue with the next verse, text number 30. Ekastvam eva jagat etam amushyayatvam adi antayo prithag avashyasi madhayas cha srishtva guna vyatikaram nijamayayedam nanivater avashitastad anupravishtaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, E.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Lord, you alone manifest yourself as the entire cosmic manifestation. For you existed before the creation. You exist after the annihilation, and you are the maintainer between the beginning and the end. All this is done by your external energy through actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever exists externally and internally is you alone. Purport: as stated in the Brahma Samhita 5.35, Ekopi yasau rachitum jagadanda kotim yachaktirasti jagadanda chaya yadanta andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the personality of Godhead, Govinda, who by one of his plenary portions enters the existence of every universe and every atomic particle, and thus unlimited manifests his infinite energy all over the material creation. To create this cosmic manifestation, Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, expands his external energy and thus enters everything in the universe, including the atomic particles. In this way, he exists in the entire cosmic manifestation. Therefore, the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in maintaining his devotees are transcendental, not material. He exists in everything as the cause and effect, yet he is separate, existing beyond this cosmic manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshva avasthitaha. The entire cosmic manifestation is but an expansion of the Lord's energy. Everything rests in Him, yet He exists separately, beyond creation, maintenance, and annihilation. The varieties of creation are performed by His external energy. Because the energy and the energetic are one, everything is one. Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. Therefore, without Krishna, the Parabrahman, nothing can exist. The difference between the material and the spiritual worlds is that his external energy is manifested in the material world, whereas his spiritual energy exists in the spiritual world. Both energies, however, belong to the Supreme Lord, and therefore in a higher sense, there is no exhibition of material energy, because everything is spiritual energy. The energy in which Lord's all-pervasiveness is not realized is called material. Otherwise, everything is spiritual. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays, Ekastvam evad jagad etam. You are everything. Hare Krishna. So, in this particular text, Prahlad Maharaj is praying to the Supreme Lord that how the Lord is the cause of everything, whether it is external or internal. And Prabhupada so beautifully explains that external energy referring to the material energy, the internal energy referring to the spiritual energy, the spiritual world, and in spiritual devotion, external energy, material world we are living in. And we are in the marginal energy where we have the choice either to serve the external energy, that means to keep floating in the cycle of birth and death by doing things which Krishna does not recommend, the Guru Shastra does not recommend, or we choose to serve Krishna's internal energy by practicing the beautiful process of Bhakti Yoga. And that will really please Krishna. And by doing so, one does not need to come back again in the cycle of birth and death. So ultimately, choice is ours. But the Lord is being glorified here as the cause of all causes. He's present everywhere, and that's what we sing in the prayer. Ito narshinga, parato narshinga, yato yato yami tato narshinga. Bahi narshinga, hridayi narshinga. You're everywhere. Yato yato yami tato narshinga. You're present everywhere. And famous when Hiranyakashipu asked, oh, he's present in this pillar? Sure, he's present everywhere. He's present in the minutest fraction of the atom, what to speak of this pillar. That was the confidence of Prahlad Maharaj. So for such a person like Prahlad Maharaj, material and spiritual are same, because he's always in that higher consciousness. But for a conditioned soul like me, uh, do I feel the same thing when I go to let's say a mall with a lot of passionate environment, or do I go to a temple? Certainly there is big difference. In the temple, the whole consciousness is spiritual. In a mall with a lot of passionate music and people just running in passion, I will get affected. So I'm not at that level to see Krishna everywhere. Therefore, I must be very, very careful in my association. If I think, no, everything is Krishna conscious, this alcohol is Krishna, this wine is Krishna, this bar is Krishna, we cannot artificially imitate Prabhupada or such great devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. So we have to be certainly I have to be a little careful. But one who is at that level, Premanja Churita Bhakti Vilochanina Santai Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayan. The one who has that pure love, that pure eyes anointed with the mascara of love of Godhead, they see Krishna everywhere, like Srila Prabhupada. They are not bewildered in any material circumstances. For them, everything is spiritual. Everything is Krishna. Everything is Krishna conscious. But in the neophyte stage, we should certainly be careful. Uh, any other comments or questions anyone has?
I have one one question. The second last sentence in the purport, where it says the energy in the Lord's all pervasiveness is not realized, is called material. All pervasiveness, so that means he's everywhere, but he says the energy that is not realized is called material. But he is in the material, even an atom. That's what it's saying. So I'm a little confused with that.
Yes, as I said, not realized here. Majority of the population who are, as I said, who are not pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada, uh, like conditioned souls. When I pick my phone, do I see Krishna in it? When I pick my pen, do I see Krishna? Do I feel that presence? So that's the difference. Uh, but for a pure soul, as I said, who is completely free from this material modes, who's at that level of transcendental stage, that person sees everything in that Krishna conscious spirit. So he sees the hand of God, hand of the Supreme Lord in every aspect. And we must certainly also try to do that so that we can one day aspire to get there. Uh, that's my. Anyone else would like to add to that?
Yes, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. So I believe Raghu Prabhu asked this question. So if you just read this sentence again, the energy in which Lord's all pervasiveness is not realized, and in the brackets by a soul, then it will be called material energy. Otherwise, for a spiritual person, everything is spiritual, like Prahlad Maharaj. Does that make more sense, Prabhu? So it's not realized by somebody, then that person will consider it material energy.
Okay, I see. Okay. Thank you. I got it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Dandavat.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Ms. Bhadra Prabhu, you wanted to share something?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat everybody. Here in the middle of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, therefore, the activities of the Supreme Person of Godhead in maintaining his devotees are transcendental, not material. He exists everything as a cause and effect, yet he is separate existing beyond this cosmic manifestation. What he is saying here is that the protection of the devotees who are beyond the gunas by you who are beyond the gunas is also beyond the gunas. Means the devotees who are beyond the gunas, of course, Krishna is ultimately protecting everybody. But the devotees who are beyond the gunas, they can understand that ultimately Krishna is protecting me. And that we can see in the case of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was, so much going disturbance by his father, but he was beyond the gunas, so he was always saying that, well, Lord is protecting me. Why have to worry about it? I don't worry. I don't think about it. See, that's one point. Second point is that it says that you are seen by the intelligent to be different from the universe, with the beginning, middle, and end. So then why people not see this? question might be raised. So then the answer is that the having created this universe made of transformation of the gunas by your maya, which is different from your Swarup Shakti, you enter into. And that's why people are not able to see it sometimes. That the Lord is ultimately the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. At the same time, He is not in it. But the persons who are above the modes of material nature again, they can see this. That's the point here, one of few points. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So, anyone who has not read for this week, would like to read, please? We can't go. Want to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I can read, Prabhu.
Yes.
Tam vam idam sada sad isam bhavam stato nayam maya yad atma para buddhir ivam haya apartha yad yasya janma nidhanam sthithir ikshanam cha vaitad tadvaitad evam vasu vasukalvad asti tarvaho. Translation and purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the entire cosmic creation is caused by you, and the cosmic manifestation is an effect of your energy. Although the entire cosmos is but you alone, you keep yourself aloof from it. The conception of mine and yours is always a type of illusion, Maya, because everything is an emanation from you and is therefore not different from you. Indeed, the cosmic manifestation is not different from you, and the annihilation is also caused by you. This relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the gross manifestation. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 7, chapter 10, verse, the Lord says, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhiprartha samsthanam. O son of Partha, know that I am the original seed of all existence. In the Vedic literature, it is said, Ivashvam idam sarvam yathova ima, imani bhutani jayanti. And sarvam kalva idam brahman. All this Vedic information indicates that there is only one God and that there is nothing else but Him. The Mayavadi philosophers explain this in their own way, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead asserts the truth that He is everything and yet is separate from everything. This is the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is called Achintya Bheda Vedatvam, Atintya Vedatvam. Everything is one, the Supreme Lord, yet everything is separate from the Lord. This is understanding of oneness and the difference. The example given in this regards, Vasukalva Asti Tarvoha, is very easy to understand. Everything exists in time, yet there are different phases of time factor: present, past, and future. Present, past, and future are one. Every day we can experience the time as morning, noon, and evening. And although morning is different from noon, which is different from everything, All of them taken together are one. The time factor is the energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the Lord is separate from the time factor. Everything is created, maintained, and annihilated by time, but the Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead, has no beginning and no end. He is Nitya Sasvas- Vataha, eternal permanent. Everything passes through this time's phase of present, past, and future, yet the Lord is always the same. Thus, there is undoubtedly a difference between the Lord and the cosmic manifestation, but actually they are not different. Accepting them to be different is called avidya, ignorance. Prabhu, can you stop here or continue?
Someone else can read. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Jyoti Mataji, you want to read? Vijaya Mataji? You have to unmute yourself if you would like to read. Anyone wants to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. True oneness, however, is not equivalent to the conception of the Mayavadis. The true understanding is that the differences are manifested by the energy of the Supreme Personal Godhead. The seed is manifested as a tree which displays varieties in its trunk, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has therefore sung Keshava Tua Jagat Vichitra. My dear Lord, your creation is full of varieties. The varieties are one and at the same time different. This is the philosophy of Achinta Veda Abheda Tattva. The conclusion given in Brahma Samhita is this. Ishvara Parama Krishna Shochinananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. Because the Lord is the supreme cause, everything is one with him. But when we consider varieties, we find that one thing is different from another. We may conclude, therefore, that there is no difference between one thing and another. Yet in varieties, there are differences. In this regard, Madhvacharya gives an example concerning a tree and a tree in fire. Both trees are the same, but they look like different because of the time factor. The time factor is under the control of the Supreme Lord. And therefore, the Supreme Lord is different from time. A advanced devotee consequently does not distinguish between happiness and distress, as stated in Srimad Bhagvatam 10:14.8. Tat anukampam sushami kasha mano bhujanto evatam kritam vipakam. When a devotee is in a condition of so-called distress, he considers it a gift or blessing from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When a devotee is always thus situated in Krishna consciousness in any condition of life, he is described as Mukti Padesha Daya Bhak, a perfect candidate for returning home back to Godhead. The word Daya Bhak means inheritance. A son inherits the property of his father. Similarly, when the devotee is fully Krishna conscious, undisturbed by dualities, he is sure that he will return home back to Godhead, just as one inherits his father's property. What a nice purport by Prabhupada. So, in this translation and text and purport, the main thing Prahlad was telling us that Though everything is created by the Lord, but still Lord is aloof. Though everything is controlled by his energy, but everything within him, everything created from him, but still he's separated from everything. The creation, maintenance, and destruction is created by the time. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, said that I'm the time, but still it is separated from him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's why given the name of the tattva is Achinta Veda Abheda Tattva. That means we are the soul and Krishna is the supreme soul. But we work as the direction of the Lord. So our service, our intention is as per the direction of the Lord. Same, but we are separate with the supreme soul. And that separation will remain even in the spiritual world. And also given the example of a tree which comes from its seed and different branches. So many varieties, but all is came from the same seed. But it became a big branches, big trees, big branches, and the leaves. And the ultimately is that it's mentioned at the last paragraph that devotees in this material world, when they're seated in the transcendental position, everything is blissful. Like Prahlad Maharaj, even he was put on so much distress from the maternal aspect, but he's always transcendental position. He's not afraid at all because he knows the Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, will protect his devotees. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So yes, Krishna is present everywhere. We discussed that inside, outside, in atom, in every part and parcel of the material creation of the source or the spiritual creation. Yet we have read multiple times that he is always busy in his Nitya Leela in Goloka Vrindavan. And through his different energies, he expands in different forms. Yet that does not mean that everything is Krishna. That comes in Bhagavad Gita also. Yes, he is present everywhere, but it's not like Mayavadi philosophy or impersonalism that, oh, I am God, you are God, everyone is Narayan. That's a big difference in the Vaishnava school and the Mayavadi philosophers. So they often say, oh, Dandadhyena Matrena Nar Narayan Bhavet. That Nar will become Narayan, the Jiva will become Narayan, or Jiva is equivalent to Narayan, but it is just to experience that, to unveil that Narayan within. That is all nonsensical as per the Srimad Bhagvatam. Very, very clear in many, many words, purports. Prabhupada brings up this point that the Jiva always remains the Jiva and the Vibhu, the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, is always the Supreme Lord, even on the lap of his mother. It's not that he had to get some siddhi to become God. That's the fundamental difference. So, if one continues to see Krishna's hand in every aspect and tolerate the happiness and distress, so nicely mentioned. An advanced devotee, let's meditate on this line. An advanced devotee consequently does not distinguish between happiness and distress. Advanced devotee means good child of Lord. As Prabhupada is mentioning, a good son receives the inheritance of the father naturally or the parents naturally. All he has to do, she has to do is be a good child. But if he does, if he chooses to go away from the father or rebel against the father, then sorry to say, then the father will say, okay, what to do? I really wanted to give you everything, but you are so rebellious, then why I should do that? So in that scenario, the father may not do. That means Krishna is willing to do everything for the devotee. He is willing to give himself completely. He is willing to give that spiritual kingdom, our true home. All we have to do, tate nukampa susamikshmana, we have to tolerate. And hrit vak vapurбhi vidadhan namaste. Through hrid, heart, vak is words and vapu is body. Through body, mind, and words and heart, we continue to offer, continue to glorify Krishna, continue to chant Krishna's name, continue to do devotional service without any offenses. Then it becomes Sadaya Bhak. Then back home, back to Godhead is the rightful claim. All one has to do is just be a good disciple or a good devotee. Then certainly everything will be all right. And tolerate, as Brahmaji is saying. Any other comments or any questions anyone has? Okay, let's study the next verse. So, someone who has not read this week, Gopal,
Sorry,
Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I would like to read.
Okay. Gopal, you can read tomorrow. Okay.
It's okay.
Yes.
You can. Will I read or?
Yeah, I mean, Gopal, you want to go ahead?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Maswati Mataji, you can read tomorrow. Sorry.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Text number 32. Nasyedam atmani jagat vilayambu mathe seshetmana nija shukhanubhavo niriha yogena milita drigatma nipita nidras turye sthito na tu tamona gunams cha sunkse. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, after the annihilation, the creative energy is kept in you, who appear to sleep with half-closed eyes. Actually, however, you do not sleep like an ordinary human being, for you are always in a transcendental stage, beyond the creation of the material world, and you always feel transcendental bliss. As Karnodakshai Vishnu, you thus remain in your transcendental status, not touching material objects. Although you appear to sleep, this sleeping is distinct from sleeping in ignorance. Purport. As explained very clearly in the Brahma Samhita 5.47, Ya Karanarnava Jale Bhajati Smayoga Nidram Ananta Jagad Anda Saroma Kupa Adara Shaktim Avalambaya Param Svamurtim Govindam Adipurusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who lies down in the causal ocean in his plenary portion as Mahavishnu, with all the universes generating from the pores of hair on his transcendental body, and who accepts the mystic slumber of eternity. The Adi Purusha, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, Govinda expands himself as Mahavishnu. After the annihilation of this cosmic manifestation, he keeps himself in transcendental bliss. The word Yoga Nidram is used in reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should understand that this Nidra or sleep is not like our Nidra in the mode of ignorance. The Lord is always situated in transcendence. He is Satchit Ananda, eternally in bliss, and thus he is not disturbed by sleep like ordinary human beings. It should be understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in transcendental bliss in all stages. Srila Madhvacharya concisely states that the Lord is Turya Sthita, always situated in transcendence. In transcendence, there is no such thing as Jagaran Nidra Shushupti, wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. The practice of yoga is similar to the Yoga Nidra of Mahavishnu. Yogis are advised to keep their eyes half closed, but this state is not at all one of sleep. All the imitation yogis, especially in the modern age, manifest their so called yoga by sleeping. In the Shastra, yoga is described as dhyanavasthita, a state of full meditation, but this is meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhyanavasthita tadgatena manasa. The mind should always be situated at the lotus feet of the Lord. Yoga practice does not mean sleeping. The mind should always be actively fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Then one's practice of yoga will be successful. So, as per my understanding of this translation and purport, Srila Prabhupada is stressing on the difference between the sleep which we experience as living entities and the sleep which is described uh, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our sleep of this material world is characterized in the mode of ignorance, but whereas the sleep of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is stressed here as in the mode of transcendence. This is my understanding, Prabhu. Please add further. Thank you.
Gopal Prabhu. For those who don't know, Gopal Prabhu is really from India actually. I met him almost 10 years back, 8 years back. And since then, he has been very, very consistent, and by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, I'm so sincerely taking the bhakti classes. Thank you for joining all the way from India. So, Janma Karma Cha Me Devyam, famous verse of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's activities, Krishna's birth, Krishna's sleep, Krishna's every aspect is Divyam or transcendental. His activities are not like ordinary jivas, whether it is sleeping, whether it is eating, whether it is stealing, whether it is war, whether it is stealing the cloth, stealing the butter, dancing, etc. Everything is transcendental. He is above all these modes. So Prahlad Maharaj is emphasizing that fact, that he is not a conditioned being out of ignorance. He is sleeping like Mahavishnu, Karanadakshay Vishnu. Shai means sleep. Karanadakshay Vishnu. Karan means cause. And that's the word causal ocean. The three Purusha avatars, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and then Shirodakshay Vishnu. So Karanadakshay Vishnu or Mahavishnu on the bed, Anantashesha. He is in that Shai, Karana, Udaka, Shai, on sleeping in the causal ocean. But that sleeping is not like out of ignorance. Why I sleep is because I'm on the bodily level. Or if I don't sleep, I'll become mad. But it's not same for Krishna. Actually, like how Lord Jagannath actually does not sleep. His eyes are so big. And have you seen eyelids? There are no eyelids. And Lord Jagannath's temple is always open actually. Even at night, like 12 or 11, the temple might be open. If you're lucky, you can get darshan. And even for 1 or 2 hours, they close the darshan. They say that the demigods come and worship the Lord. So the Lord does not sleep actually. Even then, in Vrindavan, when Mata Yashoda would put Krishna to sleep and Krishna would act like sleeping, would appear like sleeping, and then he will go and do his transcendental pastimes. And he's above the time factor as well. We discussed that. He can put in one night Brahma's whole day kalpa. So, which shows that he is the controller of time. Our time is conspicuous by its absence in the spiritual world. Now, for our understanding, it may be kind of illogical. Oh, how can you fit 1 zillion years or 1 trillion years in 12 hours? Yes, because we try to understand through our own mental abilities. But Krishna is above all that. So he can do anything. If he can put a tiny, such a huge, humongous trees in a tiny seed, so what's the difficulty for him to do anything? He's the cause of all causes. He's the most powerful, unlimited strength, unlimited everything. He's Bhagavan. And so, and considering his sleep as my sleep or ordinary sleep, or he's also must be tired, like I'm tired. No, that everything he does is transcendental. Whether it is any activity, stealing butter or running away from a war, ranchor, who gets famous by running away from the battle? Only Krishna does. So, and Prabhupada then mentions about yoga. The essence of yoga is to, very beautiful line, the mind should always be situated at the lotus feet of the Lord. That is yoga. Not some physical postures, not some breathing exercise. These are very tiny elements of yoga to get to that state. As per the Patanjali Yoga Sutras also, the highest stage is Samadhi. And I was hearing a lecture by Sunil Sadhanath Swami Maharaj. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he mentioned in the yoga, actually there was some yoga day recently, Maharaj was mentioning that Samadhi Siddhi Ishvara Pranidhana. What is the perfection of Samadhi is Ishwar Pranidhana. To surrender unto the Supreme Lord. That is basically Sharanagati. So he said, would you like to know my favorite asana? My favorite asana is Sharanagati asana. And for that, we don't need to do all these postures, bending, flexing, twisting here and there. We're not saying we are against it. If it helps the body, certainly one can do it. But in this day and age, the real process is Sharanagati asana or Bhakti yoga, which will help us to fix our mind in the lotus feet of God. And that's perfection of yoga. That's perfection of Bhakti yoga. But often now, these days, yoga has become a big business. Millions, trillions, zillions of dollars, or trillions of dollars people are spending, and yoga has completely lost its meaning. Beer yoga, this yoga, goat yoga, hot yoga, wet yoga. So many types of yoga. But no one talks about fixing the mind on lotus feet of Lord. Rather, yoga has become a means to enjoy the senses more, which is totally opposite to the real purpose of yoga. Any other comments or questions anyone has? Okay, so we will stop here unless there are no comments or questions. We will study 3 verses tomorrow. And then you might have already seen my post. We will be having, from weekend onwards, wonderful speakers. I already have planned for the next few weeks by their grace, and we're so excited that so many wonderful speakers will be addressing us and giving us chance to understand better. So I already posted. If anyone would like to help in any way, please reach out to me. Thank you so much. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai.
Jai.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.